I'm Marna Goldwyn, CEO of the Ark. Stay tuned. Taped with Rabbi Doug is next.
We're gonna watch Rabbi Doug on the TV tonight.
Forget about the network programs. Forget about all the great cable shows. There's only one thing for me on Mondays and Tuesday nights. Rabbi Doug.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna watch Rabbi Doug. Yeah, we're gonna watch Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight.
Shalom and welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. We're here at the Ark. It's the 50th anniversary of the Ark, and they are about to break ground for their new building, which is going to be tremendously larger and offer more services to the community. I'm here with the executive director. This is Marna Goldwyn, and I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you for having
me. And just tell me, you've been with the Ark for about, 2 years now?
For 18 months.
A year and a half. And how is it that in all these years of the Ark doing services and being in this location since the 90s, the early 90s here in West Rogers Park, that this has come about while you're here for a short time? How did this all come, just very briefly, to fruition for such a change? Is it because it was the 50th year and there was a decision to make a change?
Listen, this vision was birthed many years ago, that we have known that we want to serve our clients with dignity, and our current facility was not designed for the kind of care and services we give. So this vision emerged years ago, but fortunately, as the community saw the needs grow during the pandemic, our generous donors stepped up even more in these last 18 months and made it possible that we could actually break ground and move this vision forward.
Well, we're going to join you for the breaking ground ceremony, and all the speakers and all the guests who are here today, with the hundreds of people who have showed up here to be part of this great event. Thank you so much, and stay with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug.
I just want to briefly note and express our appreciation to the great rabbanim of our community who are here today. We're also honoring today's event. It's Rabbis Francis, Rabbi Sturman, Rabbi Muller, Rabbi First, Rabbi Tenke, Rabbi Zeldin, Rabbi Mostovsky. I apologize if I missed anybody, but thank you all for being here. Before introducing Rabbi Reese, I just want to, first of all, recognize the wonderful friendship the Ark has had for many decades with the Chicago Rabbinical Council and with Rabbi Schwartz and Tzaddik Racha. There's been a great solace to me and the Ark that Rabbi Schwartz installed the amazing Rabbi Reese as that of Beit Din before Rabbi Schwartz passed on. And Rabbi Reese has continued sharing his wisdom and guidance always graciously. And I just want to share a quick thought that I once was thanking Rabbi Schwartz. He'd spent a lot of time on something in the Ark, helping us out with something. And he said, Shlomo, I got to tell you something. I always saw, the Beis Din is supposed to run all the affairs of the city. We're localized to certain things. But he says, I see the Ark as a branch of the Beis Din, taking care of the matters of tzedakah and chesed in our community. And those words have meant a lot to me. It really changed the way I look at my work every day. And so to that end, just an amazing thing, the Ark, we're doing this beautiful project, and we had to get temporary quarters while we're doing this. The offices that we have are the old Beis Din offices. So I really better share it to keep that connection alive. And with that, thank you very much, Rabbi Reese.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Rabbi Tenenbaum. It's a true pleasure working together with you and working together with the Ark in general. I've been very impressed by all of my interactions with Marna Goldwyn over these past few years. She really has been a transformative presence in terms of taking the Ark to the very next level. And it's appropriate to have a groundbreaking event for the Ark because the Ark is truly a groundbreaking organization in terms of providing vital services for the Jewish community here in Chicago and beyond. I don't know how our community would be able to manage without the services of the Ark, and it certainly takes a load off of the Beis Din, so thank you for that. We just celebrated Shavuos, which is the holiday of Matan Torah, the holiday of the giving of the Torah, And we know that according to Rabbi Akiva, the overarching principle of the Torah, the Klal Gadol of the Torah, is v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, to love your neighbor like yourself, which means that there's an obligation to provide others with their needs as if they were your own needs. And I believe that this is what the Ark is really all about in terms of providing holistic services, not only a food pantry, but also health services, job training services, temporary lodging for people who need it, all kinds of services to get people back on their feet. That is really a fulfillment of this important principle of V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. So how appropriate that we're celebrating this event right after Shavuos. In addition, tomorrow we're going to be reading Parshas Naso, and some of the commentators point out that most years the parsha that is laying, the Torah portion that is laying after the holiday of Shavuos is in fact the parsha of Naso. And the reason for this explains, for example, Rav Aryeh Tzvi Frumer, the Chicagoland Jewish, is because in Parshas Naso you have the Birchas HaKohanim. You have the blessing that was given by the priests, the priestly blessing, which blesses the community, that Hashem should bless the community, Yivarecha Hashem Yishmerecha, protect everybody, Ye'er Hashem Panav Elecha V'Yichunecha, should provide His illumination and His grace upon everybody, and Yisa Hashem Panav Elecha V'Yasem Lecha Shalom, Hashem should bestow His countenance upon the congregation, and also, most importantly, provide for a sense of peace, a sense of tranquility. And the greatest tranquility is when you know that you have an organization in the community that provides all of your basic needs. When the Kohanim, when the priests were told to provide and bestow this priestly blessing, they were told, Amor Lahem, that you should broadcast this message. Amor, you should say this message. And the word Amor is written with 4 Hebrew letters, Aleph, Mem, Vav, Resh, and the gematria, the numerical value of those letters, comes to the same thing as a zemer. Zemer is a song, like the songs that we sing at the Shabbos table. The idea is that when you provide services, you should do it with a sense of song, a sense of happiness, a sense of compassion, a sense of love. That's why when the priests render their priestly blessing, they always say, "L'varech Amo Yisrael b'Ahava." We are doing it with love. If a priest would not feel a sense of love towards a single person in the congregation, according to the Zohar, which is quoted by the commentators, then the priest would not be allowed to render the blessing. This requires a tremendous feeling of love towards everybody. It is a labor of love. Everybody who works for the Ark, all the board members, all the staff members, everybody in the administration of the Ark is imbued with a tremendous sense of love towards the community. I think that is what causes them to be successful. So I will just conclude with the final words of the priestly blessing after it is described in the Torah. The Torah tells us, "V'samu Hashemi al b'nei Yisrael." Hashem, God says, I'm going to place my name upon the Jewish people, "V'ani avarachem," and I am going to bless them. Who is going to be blessed? So the commentator Rashi says, the Yisrael, I'm going to bless the Jewish, the Kohanim, the priests are going to bless the Jewish people. This is what they are commanded to do by God, that they should place the name of God. V'ani avarachem, and says God, and I will bless the Jewish people. V'askim im haKohanim. I am going to agree, I am going to provide my consent that I will affirm the blessing which is rendered by the Kohanim. But there's another shade of meaning as well, says Rashi. V'ani avarachem laKohanim. I am going to bless the Kohanim. I'm going to bless the priests to enable them to do their sacred work. So it is my fervent prayer that Hashem grant you, all of you who work at the Ark, success in continuing to perform the Ark's sacred mission successfully in serving the needs of our community b'Ahava, with love, with sensitivity, and with compassion. Mazel Tov and Hatzlacha Rabbah.
Now I would like to call up Lonnie Nassiter, who is the president of the Jewish Federation and Jewish United Fund. And Lonnie has been a tremendous partner to the ARC, both representing JUF, but also personally has been a tremendous advocate for our work and really a wonderful ambassador as we continue to fulfill our mission. So thank you for being here.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Marta. And I just have to, before I get to my prepared remarks, I do want to say how fortunate we are to have Marta leading the ARC. I've had the pleasure of working with Marta as a board member with Bernard Zell, watching her grow in that particular profession, and then really coming here with her energy and vision and ability to really move us to the next level. And it couldn't have been a better decision. I look at Steve, and I remember having discussions with him during the time, and I said, you got the right person. And I think we're all here because of Marta's vision. So thank you, Marta, for your leadership. Thank you for asking me to be a part of this. This really is a milestone. I have the fortune of coming to a lot of events in our communities, you can imagine. This is one of those that really is a milestone moment for the community and, of course, for the ARC. It's really been an honor for us at JUF to partner with the ARC from its founding to this extraordinary moment. When a group of visionary leaders came together in 1971, JUF was there with a $20,000 investment to help launch this extraordinary organization. And throughout the years, you, all of you, have been our instrumental and indispensable partner in serving Chicagoland Jews, the place where our community knows it can turn in times of real need. And this was particularly true at the height of the COVID pandemic, when the ARC stepped up to serve as a lifeline for thousands and thousands of people. You modeled creativity, resilience, and ultimately resolve. Be careful over there. Enabling the ARC really to serve hundreds and hundreds of additional clients as well. And it was a privilege for us at JUF during the height of COVID to be able to provide an additional $1.48 million to the ARC to make sure that they have the funds and resources at their disposal. You accelerated delivery of emergency financial assistance and food to ensure that families kept a roof over their head and that no one went to bed hungry. And you continue to ensure that hundreds receive free medical care, dental care, and mental health care. This is at a time when the need for mental health care and public awareness of its importance is front and center. And I have to say, I'm getting off script again, but nothing makes me more proud than when I take someone to the ARC and I'm able to go downstairs and see the magic of that place and to see the volunteers giving their time and their effort and their love to take care of people that are at their most vulnerable part in their life. That is so moving, and that's one of the real perks of this particular job, is to see our community in action, and the ARC really truly embodies that. So I want to make sure that all of you that have spent time in that basement or in the first floor, spending your time with people that are really coming at you with the toughest part in their life, and you having the grace and dignity to kind of really think about it with them and get them to a better place. And the ARC really exemplifies the rabbinic prescription, Kol Yisrael Aruvim Ze B'Zeh, all Jews are responsible for one another. What could be more fitting than what we're talking about today? And you respond to anyone in the community with compassion, empathy, and dignity. You reach across lines of denomination, geography, age. You serve all Jews, and your work is a critical part of the way our community cares for each other. In sum, the ARC builds a resilient Jewish community in Chicago, one that allows individuals and families to weather life's inevitable storms and rebuild in challenging times. We have seen the ARC grow from a small volunteer-run organization to an anchor in the community with more than 50 staff and thousands of volunteers. And we had an opportunity to thank them just a few minutes ago. And looking at the plans for the new ARC, where I sat with Steve and Marna and poured through all of this, it's just so exciting that we have the opportunity to expand right here in West Rogers Park. Marna mentioned a recent population study which showed that 21% of Jewish households in our community are struggling to make ends meet. That's a big number. It's daunting, and I think a lot of times we don't think about that, but that's real. And there is so much need, and as a result, with this new facility, you're building the tools to expand your impact and make a difference on so many more people each year. So thank you, Martin, to your staff, to your volunteer leaders and partners for daring to dream big. And that's what this is. This is dreaming big. In fact, I believe there's some stories where we came together and Steve said, you know, I'm thinking about a $20 million project. And we all said, oh, wow, okay. But that's what happens when you dream big, and here we are today. So we at JUF stand with the ARC, we stand for its future, and we hope that we are really able to build this to a place where we can serve more people in the way that we all, I think, agree to. So thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom.
longtime volunteer of the Ark, has a long history with the Ark, and has really guided us over the last several years, helped us to realize our vision and ensure that we can reach this transformative point.
Thank you, Marta. Thank you, Lonnie. You know, it's amazing to me as I look out. My piece of this is to kind of put the Ark into historical perspective and bring it to today. I'd be remiss if I wasn't thinking about the number of people who come through these doors as a volunteer, as a person who needed assistance, as someone providing assistance, and reflect on the impact that everyone has had on this community and the number of people who've been served. You know, everyone knows in Chicago from Daniel Burnham, you know, make no little plans. And we stand here today to embark on something that's to be transformative. When we started this project, just so you know, we were thinking we'll stretch and get to a $7 million project. Maybe we get it done. We were told, no, you guys aren't going to be able to do it. We're a project that's almost triple that today. And it's a testament to what everyone's done and the foundation that's been built that we continue today. 5 years ago, we recognized the challenge that anyone who walked into this building could see. There are no easy solutions. The facility had it. It outlived its natural life. It needed more than minor repairs. You know, anyone who's been inside knows that. And so the question was, do we stay in this community? Do we double down? Do we move? What do we do? And we said, we're here to stay. We're here to stay, to help people, and to build. The Ark's history has been marked by these types of transformations. 1971. No, I wasn't here then. Group of community leaders, Dr. Benjamin Sokol, Rabbi Yeshua Eichenstein, Rabbi Avram Kaufman, Joseph Weiss, many others, saw an acute need in our community for free medical care for those who couldn't afford to go to a doctor. They envisioned a volunteer-driven organization where professional and lay leaders would serve the community, and the Ark was born as a free medical clinic on Lawrence Avenue in Albany Park. My tie to the Ark actually happened 3 years later, when my mother, who's sitting here today, began working here as a volunteer social worker for the Ark, and I can go back to being a first grader and going to the Hanukkah parties that the Ark had in the old armory, in terms of a truly community event. So to me, as I think about it, you know, almost 50 years later, in terms of seeing how far we've come and what we're doing, it's amazing. In the 1980s, as our community grew and evolved, the Ark moved to Rogers Park, first to Devon Avenue and Western, around the corner, and then to the Persky Building here in California in 1991. As the community's grown, the Ark has grown with it, adding a broad array of services where we can truly help people as a whole, distinguished by extraordinary case managers, social workers, who partner with our clients over the long term to understand unique challenges and goals and meet all their needs. We're the only place in Chicago with complete wraparound services for everyone who needs it. The depths of the relationships is the heart of what we do here at the Ark, and the breadth of services to our clients under one roof without having to navigate multiple institutions or bureaucracies. But as we said, today the building's bursting at the seams. The physical environment no longer matches the compassion and dignity that are the heart of how our staff cares for the clients. 5 years ago, I chaired a committee that was charged with looking at the future of the Ark and identifying what is it we're going to do. I picked the right partner in Alan Malmid and his wife Missy to lead a capital campaign, which you'll hear more about, which has brought us here today and made this all possible. And without Alan and Missy and their work, we wouldn't be here. We have great professionals. First Mark Suartez, who brought together, and now Marta, who's taken it the next step and enabled us to meet this day as we go forward. So it's a real partnership here. And we work together to advance plans to engage the community, our staff, our volunteers, our clients, to roadmap to transform the Ark for the future as we have celebrated the Ark's 50th anniversary. Our board of directors has worked hand in hand with the leadership team to develop plans for this new space that will expand our capacity. We're lucky to have a strong foundation to build on. And luckily, this foundation is pretty strong too, and will support a second floor. And we're grateful to all who have invested the time, energy, and resources into this effort. I'd like to ask the board of directors and trustees who are here to stand up for a second and be recognized. My predecessor, Will Leonard, who's currently the chairman of the ARC, put the wheels in motion for this and gets to sit back and now watch kind of as we make it kind of come to fruition. But it was Will who sat there and said, we will do this, and kind of put the plans in place to start the process. Marna already acknowledged the staff, and I want to take another moment to say thank you again to our staff who day in, day out continue to amaze me with everything they do and everything they stand for and everything that they work for, the way they enrich people's lives. And of course, to Marna, my partner in this. I said to her mother this morning, thank you for sharing her with me. And she looked at me and said, she's got a lot to do, which is true, but without Marna, we wouldn't be able to take this and go the next step forward. So now I'd like to turn it back to Marna to share a little bit of our vision for the future.
I now want to call up two people who have truly brought us to this day, Alan and Missy Malmanet, who they both serve on our board of directors. Alan is the chair of our board of trustees. They have given decades of service to the ARC, but they have been a part of this vision from the very beginning, and they have worked tirelessly and never given up and had so much passion because they believe so deeply in the impact the ARC can make. And so it is an honor to work alongside them, and thank you for all you have done.
Thanks, Marna. I'm the Missy and Alan. So Alan and I were honored when we were asked to lead this campaign, and it is with great pride that we stepped up to the task. We support and have supported the ARC because we as Jews feel a personal responsibility for our fellow Jews in need. Even more so, it is a great privilege to be involved with the ARC. It is personally uplifting. The ARC's unique approach to client service is infused by the core value of treating clients with dignity. And this core value fundamentally enlivens the ARC. This is an ambitious project on a scale the ARC has not attempted before, yet Alan and I were and remain captivated by the possibilities offered by such a bright, encouraging building that would be welcoming, accessible, and characterized by a commitment to the ARC clients' dignity. It will be what all ARC clients deserve. Together with the fantastic campaign committee and ARC professional leadership, we embarked on this journey, and the community quickly rose to partner in this transformative effort. As Marna just shared, the campaign will provide for growth of the ARC's endowment and investments in new programs and services to meet the emerging needs of our community. This building will be the uplifting space in which we will meet all of these needs.
Thanks, Missy. About 3.5 years ago, a bunch of different things sort of converged at the same time. And because of them, we're here at this place at this moment right now. The first one is a couple from Flossmoor that none of us knew. Tony and Francine Brown walked into the ARC, and they didn't have an appointment. They just asked to see the executive director, Mark Squatez. And they were led into his office, and the first thing Mark noticed was that they had their checkbook in their hand. And after a very brief meeting, he actually asked for a pen and wrote out a check for $1.1 million to the ARC. And this is a couple that we didn't know. They never made a donation to the ARC. About the same time, a woman named Alma Zivin, who I think Stan knows the family, yes, she died. Her will came out of probate, And the Ark soon discovered that she had divided her estate into 3 different charities, and one of them was the Ark, to the tune of about $2.3 million. So Tony and Francine's gift for a very, very short time was the largest gift the Ark had ever received, and was quickly surpassed by Alma Zivin's bequest. So Mark, in his wisdom, was contemplating what the Ark was going to do when we turned 50. So it was a big deal, and something had to be done. And he's sitting there with $3.5 million in his pocket that he didn't expect to have. And also, he was looking around, as we've heard over and over again, at his crumbling building. And he had the idea that we needed to fix this problem. And he brought it to the board, and they undertook the idea of renovating this building. They recruited Missy and I to run the capital campaign, and we gladly accepted, and we were honored that we were asked, and we were eager to take what we thought was a holy task.
From a young age, I was inspired by the Ark's impact on our community, the way that the Ark has always taken care of those in need, and the way the Ark has taught all of us, given us opportunities to give back and to teach our children to give back, and teaching us the values of chesed and the impact that chesed can have on one person's life. So now we're at this transformative moment as we're shifting, as the Malvin said, into our community phase of this campaign, and we're hoping that everybody joins us along that journey. So as we break ground, we are now going to literally break ground, and I'm going to invite Steve and Lonnie and the Malvins up to join me in breaking ground here. And as we do that, I want everybody here to think about how you can be a part of this journey. We are opening this campaign up to our broad community. As you heard, we need $1.7 million, and today we can celebrate because the Harvey Miller family has made a very generous gift to move us that much closer to our goal. So we have to thank you.
You want to stand here? Talk about
The Ark has always been and will always be a vibrant hub of vital human services. And as we look to the next 50 years, we believe our mission is to provide hope and empowerment to every Jew across the Chicago area.
Well, that's it here at the Ark for the groundbreaking for their new building. I want to thank Marna. I want to thank all of you for being with us. Remember, you can check out our website, www.tvrabbi.com, where you can also see former shows on the web. If you want to send Marna or any of the staff at the Ark an email, or send us an email, info@tvrabbi.com, I will forward to them, and I know they'll get back to you personally to answer any questions you have. Hope to see you next time right here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Shalom, everyone.
And I'm talking about Rabbi Doug. Talking about Rabbi Doug. Talking about Rabbi Doug on your TV show. Well, he's the rabbi for me. Anytime you need. You're gonna get married or you're gonna die. Gonna see Rabbi Doug on the TV tonight.
This has been a Taped with Rabbi Doug production.